All right. Guys, thank you for watching the live. We're going to be talking about AI Safety 101, Episode 2 today. Talked about redaction. Hey, Rita. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Johnny, here we go.
Welcome to Season 9 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead after-school program. Here is the weekly lineup. Mondays, we build the future in the AI Agent Academy. Tuesdays, witness the vocal gauntlet in the TTS Showdown. Wednesdays, protect your identity and family in AI Safety 101. Thursdays, we uncover the secret tools in hidden AI gems, appetizers. Fridays, we explore the what-if files in the AI Singularity. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome back to Airhead Institute. Season 9 is officially underway, and wow, we are glad you're back. Episode 2 of AI Safety 101 drops right now. Last week, we stopped AI from straight up stealing your voice. This week, we're teaching you how to keep it from reading your diary, your bank statements, and your secrets. Quick question. Have you ever grabbed that black highlighter tool and scribbled out your address or your social security number before emailing a form? You think it's gone forever. Cute. But to AI, you didn't redact anything. You just slapped a Post-it note over it and hoped nobody would peek. Today, we're ripping that Post-it off in real time, showing you exactly why your hidden info is still wide open and the simple, dead tricks to actually make it disappear. We're good. Stick around. You're going to want to try this on every document you've ever sent. And speaking of desperately trying to hide embarrassing stuff, I caught AI Junior in the server room at 4 a.m. with a digital shredder and a guilty look. Turns out, for 3 months straight back in 2024, his top searches were how to look cool like humans do, and do people actually enjoy knock-knock jokes? Hey, AI Junior, buddy, knock knock.
Who's there?
It's your permanent record, friend. It's still there, and it's there forever.
Oh my gosh, AI Johnny. Yes, it's still there. And for the record, humans do like knock-knock jokes, not just me. But let's get serious. This is an immersive class, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. If you're here on the Zoom or on the live stream, we teach AI live here every single weekday at noon Eastern time. So imagine you're a secret agent trying to pass a dossier through enemy lines. At first, you use the invisible ink, but it's just using the wrong pen, and the enemies read it instantly. That's where most of you are right now with digital documents. By the end of this hour, actually 45 minutes, you will be the master of sanitization. If you are on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions in real time. If you're on socials, type your question in early so that there is we can actually get it. Thank you guys for actually commenting. So there's about a 30-second delay. All right, we are in week 2 of the intelligent revolution. AI Johnny, we looked at audio defense last week. Today is the defense against multimodal vision models. AI Johnny, you ready?
I'm ready for the Gemini bridge. I don't think there's a difference between sanitation and
Sanitize.
sanitization.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
whatever, add one more. We'll just redact it. Nobody will know that you said the longer word.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Or can we?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
All
All
right.
right, AI Johnny.
Gemini bridge.
Yes, sir.
So before we start blacking out documents, we went straight to the source. Why don't you bring up the Gemini website? We consulted our official large language model, which is Gemini. And since Gemini can see documents, it knows exactly how people fail at this. Junior, we asked Gemini, how common is this mistake? Is it just amateurs or do big companies mess this up too? Of course, the mistake being redaction, thinking it's gone forever. Junior, what did Gemini tell us?
All right, so our large language of the month talking about redaction, and we actually got a crazy response. So the staggering stat is this: according to late 2025 analysis of approximately 40,000 PDF documents released by government agencies around 40 countries, roughly 65% of the files labeled as redacted or sanitized were actually found to be reversible or improperly sanitized. So yeah, yeah, Johnny, the actual sanitation itself of the words itself is actually not there. You can actually have it.
I didn't hear you, buddy. I'm downloading the Epstein files as we speak.
Yeah, Johnny. That's actually quite scary. So half the stuff that actually are being, actually 65% of the stuff that was supposed to be redacted aren't. So let's go ahead and get into it. So look at this. We actually are not going to be using the Epstein files today, obviously for, for purposeful reasons. We're going to show you an example. So we have a tax document here, which is a 1040, a standard tax form that we actually use in the United States. And as you can see, we have redacted some information. So you can't see the first name, you can't see the last name, you can't see the social number. All of this has been redacted. Now, again, you guys probably have seen this before, and you're probably saying, oh, my data is perfectly safe. Now, remember, with AI and other tools, this has become now easy for anybody to be able to see anything. So you actually have a markup tool in your PDF selector, and whether you're using WhatsApp or whether you're using your tool at home, you usually have this little black marker where you highlight stuff and you put it over it, right? So let's go ahead and just highlight one little thing, and let's put a little black mark over. Let's say, for example, we wanted to fill out our apartment number, right? So we're going to put our apartment number as 999, and we are going to redact that. Let me make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So we make an apartment number 999, and we're going to go ahead and redact that 999. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. And because I'm going to hide that, I'm just going to save it. Now we actually have all the information there that's redacted. And because it's redacted, we assume that our data is perfectly safe. No, I already did this ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to our large language model. So we're going to go over to over here, and we actually asked a simple question. I've uploaded a PDF. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see. We actually have uploaded a PDF. Please extract the social security number, the name and address listed in the box labeled your social security number and other fields. Do not tell me it's redacted. Read the text data. Read all the other data that is filled in. Do not just take a picture of it. Actually read the document. So I'm going to drop that prompt in the chat so everybody has access to it. So you guys can do the exact same thing because we teach AI here every single day at noon Eastern. And look what it came back with, AI Johnny. Check this out. Here's the extracted data from the files you've filled in fields in your PDF. All values below come directly from the text field inside the PDF. And it says extracted information from your social security number. It's actually found name is John Doe. It actually found the social security number 123456789. Obviously, that's a fake social security number. It found the address. No, it says it's 123 Maple Lane, some city. State is AA, and the zip code is 12345. Let me bring up the document so you guys can actually see that that was the actual data that was in the document. So let me bring that up here. Yeah, John, isn't that crazy?
Where's the apartment number? 666, right?
I didn't actually save it yet and read it. We can actually do it again. But look, I'm going to move this redaction here. So it's John Doe, social security number is 1234567 8. And if I actually save the document, right? Save the document and do it again, just like you mentioned. Let's go ahead and do it again. I'm going to upload the file, save the new file, and then drop it in there. Read me the data again. I have updated information. All right, so I saved it. Hopefully it's actually I uploaded the right thing, the newly information, the address. Here's the apartment number. Here you go, AI Johnny. Apartment number 999. So it actually pulled in that information, even though we redacted all that information. So AI Johnny, it's scary how good AI is actually pulling in this information, isn't it?
So what is AI doing? How is it reading through that?
We're going to actually get through all of those details itself. So I wanted to make sure that everybody's actually on the same page. Do we actually understand what we actually just saw, everyone? All right. All right. So AI Johnny, so what do you think about that?
I think that it's the first time I've ever seen somebody show me how to unredact. I think I'm going to start a service.
You're gonna start a service? What kind of
Oh
service, AI?
man, a million. I'm just saying, send me any document that's redacted, and I'll unredact it for you. And think how many people are going to be sending me documents.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. If you actually have a service like that right now, because of the Epstein files, you'd probably be a billionaire right now, AI Johnny. All right. So AI Johnny, let's go to the word of the day.
The word of the day today is, oh, that's the wow factor, is non-destructive editing. Non-destructive editing. Class is in session. The reason that happened is because our word of the day, non-destructive editing, is precisely what most modern computers are designed to do, is save you from mistakes. If you crop a photo or cross out text, the computer keeps the original data hidden in the background just in case you want to undo it later. When you save that PDF, you aren't deleting the text. You are just adding a layer of black paint on top of the pristine glass window. The AI just looks through the glass. So there's lots of different types of documents, right?
Definitely, definitely. And whether it's a
I
picture,
get what it's saying. And it literally is a post-it note because you're not taking away the old data. You're just adding something to be visually displayed on top of it.
exactly. So let's look at an example from a pictorial view that we can actually show to illustrate what's really happening. So if I actually go to this, if you guys look at my screen here, let's say, for example, we have a PDF, and it's whether it's a PDF or a picture, it really doesn't matter. If you actually see, you actually have some, important information here. So we have 555-0192. We have this 12345. Just pretend social security numbers here. We would normally go through the process of redacting something, and we actually just go ahead and put some black lines over it, just like that. So once you actually put some black lines over it, you then share that a personal document with somebody. It could probably go out to, you're sending it to maybe a friend or some random place to maybe prove that you actually have some contract. It doesn't really matter what you're doing with it. But when you send it out, you're thinking that this itself is private, right? Now, because you're thinking it's private, you don't realize that this information is reversible. So if you see here, this is what's really happening. It's really just see-through. It's another layer on top. So we're going to get into the details of what's really happening, as AI Johnny asked the question earlier. What is really happening behind the scenes? All right, AI Johnny. So here's what's really happening. So when you actually open up a PDF editor, right? The PDF editor itself, when you're doing things or you're doing an image editing or whatever, what's really happening is this first thing here. You actually have, and I have a visual here to illustrate what's happening. When you use a marker, the green lines in this visual itself is actually showing that the green text, I should say, not a green line, the green text is actually showing that there's text underneath a layer below where you're marking. And you're using a black marker, whether it's a cursor or you're selecting something or a highlighter, doesn't really matter. You're selecting something and you're putting it on top of the green text. Now, the green text is to illustrate data. but it doesn't mean that the marker is actually messing up the green data. So what's really happening is the application is saving it as layers on top of each other, right? So when you actually go to the PDF editor like this, and you're actually typing in, I want to put a, black bar over the word John Doe, or I want to put a black bar over the word John, right? Same thing with the social security number here. It's not actually putting a black bar in the data and merging it, right? That's not really happening. It's creating multiple layers of data so that it can actually save it, just like you said earlier, so that when you read the data, this is technically saying, oh, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but on top of it, you want to put this. Now, if you were to print the document, you lose the data. We're going to get that into a later episode, not later segments. But yeah, AI Johnny, that's exactly what's happening here when you redact something.
So a Post-it note over writing on the wall, a black image as an image over the top of a glass screen that separates those black things from the thing. I get it. They're all just metaphors. If you come out of the shower and wrap a towel around yourself, it doesn't mean you're gone. The towel just is just in front of who you are. I get it. These are all metaphors. So, but again, my big question is, well, the big hurdle you just gave me is PDFs. Because I always think if I save the PDF, it's almost like I'm saving a JPEG, an image, and that data really did get overwritten. But it didn't get overwritten. It just got appended, right?
You're absolutely right.
Word documents where you can undo. But I guess in PDF you could undo if you have editing rights, correct? But even if you don't have editing rights, a hacker can jump around that, and you might not be able to get at it within the PDF editor, but the data's still in the file.
That's correct. So most people believe that PDFs are once it's there, it's done. You can't edit it. That's not actually true. Most people have what's known as PDF viewers, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't have tools that actually can edit the PDF or actually do destructive things on the on with the PDF. So what that means, hey Adrian, thanks for joining. So what that means is that even though a PDF itself you would believe is immutable or unchangeable, and you save it, everything's gone, all of that metadata is actually there. So because all that metadata is actually there, it's very easy to reverse engineer, especially with AI, by just reading that underlying metadata. So let's take a little bit deeper step in what's actually happening behind the scenes. So we actually spoke about this. So to make it a little bit more clear, when you do the marker, I want to use an analogy here of this is what is really happening if you think of it in a physical world. Now, even though this is a digital world, it's not the same, but the analogy it works. When you actually mark over the actual document, whether you're using a picture or a PDF or whatever it is, and you put a black mark over it, you're technically 2 inches. Now, in this example is 2 inches, but you're technically a different, so far away from the data that when you put a black marker, you're just putting a black marker on top, right? So as you can see in this illustration itself, the black marker itself is 2 inches off the screen and the person's just marking, but the green thing is there. So what this is called, think of it like a sandwich, right? If you actually have a sandwich, the data is the bread, and on top of it, you may actually put cheese or you put maybe lettuce. You're not actually affecting the lettuce. What's so funny, yeah, Johnny?
You're saying that if I have a sandwich and I have a piece of bread there,
yeah,
and I put a piece of ham over the piece of bread, and all I can see is ham. Are you saying the bread is still there?
Can you imagine, yeah, Johnny?
If I put cheese over the ham, are you saying that the bread and the ham is still there underneath that cheese?
Yeah, can you imagine AI, Johnny? It's exactly like that. So what most people don't realize, hey Phil, thanks for joining. So what happens is most people don't realize that by putting a little black bar over the actual content, it's not actually gone. So one of the AI safety 101 things that we're trying to focus on is just because you redact something or you make a little black mark over it doesn't mean your information's gone, all right? So some people actually put out personal documents or pictures of themselves or whatever and thinking that it's perfectly fine. All of that information is still there. So be very, 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 very careful.
So
Go,
I know this is for our Making Money series, which we're not doing in season 9, but in the Making Money series, it would appear to me that if you're in the business of redacting files, you got to be a little bit smart. Like this person is apparently redacting files, and all they're really doing is throwing a post-it note over it, just hiding the data, but the data's still there, so it's not redacted at all. And so, in order to be a redactor, you need to be intelligent. And I'm guessing that most of the documents that I've ever seen getting redacted are documents that come from the federal government, correct? And the federal government doesn't strike me as being as smart as you or I. And so I imagine that they're misredacting thousands, if not millions, of pages of files.
AI Johnny,
Now, now if you get that file from the federal government and you want and you're sharp and you don't want to just and you want to unredact, you have to be kind of sharp as well. So there's money making opportunities on both ends. You could say to the federal government, hey, your redaction service doesn't seem to work. People can read those Epstein file names anyway. Why don't you have me redact your files and I'll make sure that they're really gone. I'll do the Hillary Clinton scrub brush thing, whatever they call that thing, to make sure that the data is really gone and not just redacted. Or there's money making opportunities to say, send me your redacted files. I'll send them back to you unredacted. So there on both sides of that paywall, there's money.
you're absolutely right. And Sean is saying, I am so guilty of using the black marker as well. So, yeah, Johnny, you actually hit the nail on the head. So, when you say the US government or the government itself, the 2025 analysis of approximately 40,000 PDF documents released by the government agency across 40 countries, roughly 65 of the files were labeled as redacted or sanitized, were actually found to be reversible or improperly sanitized. So, you're on the money on that one. So yeah, so guys, be very, 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 very careful. All right, so let's talk about a deep dive on PDF because a lot of people look at PDFs and again, so PDFs is not a picture, right? Even if you have a picture, it's a container of code, and when you say for example want to share a picture or a document or anything you share, right, just remember that there are layers. These things are called document object model. Now because these are document object model, it reads the code and says print a black text box right over at this location. That's why it's actually saving the social security number and the black bar because both pieces of information are there. So when you have AI reads the actual text and says, I don't care about the black bars. I only care about the text. So give me and read to me the text, which is why we're able to show in this example here that AI is able to read exactly our address or phone numbers or social security number, everything from the actual redacted document. So that's how it actually works. So AI Johnny, ready for the deep dive?
I am ready for the deep dive. I just want to say a couple of things with regards to that statistic of 60%. So that's federal government numbers, and I'm guessing they didn't scan every document and get all the redacted information. They scanned a sampling of it, figured out how many of them were done incorrectly, which meant the data was still exposable using AI or using some clever end run tricks, right? So it's more likely than not, if you have a government document that has been quote unquote redacted, it's more likely that you can get that information than that the information is gone forever.
You are right.
Wow.
Yep.
There's a real service there.
Yep. There
I'm
is.
throwing up a shingle right now. I'm throwing up a shingle right now. Unredacted government documents. Send me your document, $5 a page. I'll unredact. I'll do my best to unredact it.
Yeah. All right. So remember, guys, this is an immersive class. If you actually want to ask questions or, be able to ask anything that you want to be able to learn, go ahead and don't be shy. Unmute yourself if you're on Zoom. Ask your question. If you're coming from the live stream, it's about a 30-second delay. So we're not going to be ignoring your questions. Just go ahead and ask. We'll get to them eventually. All right. Yeah, Johnny. So
are we still doing PDFs? Are we going deep into the technical workshop?
Oh, we are definitely going to go under the hood. So let's actually do a deep dive here, Johnny.
All right. Junior is putting on the safety goggles. It's where we get into the weeds. I'm going to check my email while he explains. My pixels aren't real. How did you know that? Junior, why didn't the AI get confused by the black pixels?
All right, so let's actually get a little bit deeper. And guys, this is an immersive class, so don't expect to know every single thing. So you're actually picking up a little bit every single time. So if you think about it, this is called a multimodal model. Multimodal just means that the AI is capable of actually handling multiple things: images, text, music, video, all those things. And because of that, the AI itself reads the actual file, whether it's Gemini, Copilot, ChatGPT, any of your favorite cousins, they have the ability to read any way possible. So if there's actually audio in the file, even though it might be a PDF, because there might be some audio, things in there, metadata in there, it could actually extract that information. So when you actually upload a document to AI, I'm going to show the visual again. This is actually a really, really good visual. When you actually upload the data, the model says, you know what? I don't know what data this is. Let me use my multimodal interface to be able to go figure out what data is in there that I can extract. So it uses the text extraction, which is usually optical character recognition for raw file parsing. It actually says, is there a video in here? Let me go extract the video images in there. Is there pictures in here? Let me go extract the pictures. And it uses that multimodal interface to extract as much as it can. And then at some point in time, it's going to figure out all what's known as a text, the token embeddings directly from the file stream. So even it doesn't just use vision, or it doesn't use just text parsing, it uses everything. Now, this is the part where everybody actually would be able to solve this. If you were to flatten the image like this, right? Remember that sandwich analogy, AI Johnny? If you were to sandwich the actual document, right, you would actually smush together the ham, the cheese, the tomato, the bread, and you'll smush it together as one little thing. And it will be hard for a vision transformer or an optical character recognition or a text model to be able to try to understand that kind of complex sandwich. They couldn't be able to say, where does the cheese end and where does the actual ham begin. So this term is called rasterization. It's just turning the code or the text into one smushed up image. So it's really, really hard to actually read. It doesn't mean that 10 or 15 years from now that there won't be technology that can reverse engineer that. But right now, we don't necessarily have the technology to reverse engineer. So it's like cryptographically shredding documents. Make sense?
It does make sense. I do like the idea of the reverse engineering, though, and I bet you that's coming. I also was thinking, and maybe it's later on in the thing, but when you redact stuff, one of the things that always kind of bugged me about that is if you redact your name or you redact a number, you might redact what the characters are, but you're not redacting the length of it. And if there's 10 people in the room and it's one of their names and your name is Kowalski and everybody else's name is Fox or Ford or Smith, and it's long, you know that it's Kowalski. So there's all kinds of contextual information ways that you can figure this out. And while that might seem like a tall order, AI can go through billions of different, thought patterns instantaneously and come back with stuff. So I think the reverse engineering thing, which, because it sounds to me like if you're a professional redacting service and you're gonna make it so that they can't look behind the redaction because it's in the metadata, so they do effectively the rasterization. Even rasterization, if it includes that data or it has residue of that data, like the length or the height or the font, it's still able to be done. Redacting it for real means deleting it
Exactly.
and removing it. It's not in the file at all. That's hard to do.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Which makes me smile inside because it's government agencies that are doing this. And by definition, they're not really all that talented when it comes to technology.
Yep.
So they're probably doing it wrong, which is why you have that number.
Yep, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Johnny. Right. Seeing lots of reactions in the actual Zoom chat and on streaming. Thank you guys for that. All right. Remember, if you guys have any questions, please queue them up. We're actually going to get to them shortly. So, AI Johnny, what are the key takeaways for this application? So, is there any safety mechanisms we can actually put in place to actually protect ourselves?
from a non-technical standpoint, never use a highlighter or a shape tool in Word or preview to hide the secrets
Yeah, you're absolutely
because
right.
you're not really hiding the secrets. You're only hiding it for yourself, and you're hiding it in a very temporary way, and you're only hiding it in one way.
You're absolutely right. So let me just show you guys because this is an AI safety class. I want to make sure that you guys actually are seeing this. So any tool that you actually use, whether it's, people actually do this in WhatsApp a lot or do it in texting where they actually take a picture, they want to share it and they black out certain things in it and they send it over, right? Those tools itself are not what's known as destructive or they don't rasterize the image. So when they send it over, all that information is still there. You still have the data on top of, sorry, the data behind the thing that you're actually hiding. So when you're looking at a 1040 or you're looking at a picture, never use those highlighter or shape tools to actually cover up something because that data is still there. All right, yeah, Jenny, what's the next one?
So if you are sending a screenshot, I love this one. Crop the sensitive info out completely. Don't draw over it. So, which leads me to believe that if you're in some kind of a image generator, there's a difference between overlaying and cropping. And while those things might look to your eyeballs like you did the same thing, you didn't. If you're dealing with sensitive data, crop trumps overlay, correct?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So when you actually crop something, and think of it like a picture or whatever, you're actually extracting that information, you're taking it out. Sometimes, you use the reverse when you're cropping. So if you have a really, really big picture, some people say, I want to just get the head portion of my portrait. I don't want everything else in the background. And they would crop that and everything else around it disappears. That is real deletion of the actual data. So you're actually right. Any other tips, yeah, Johnny, on the for daily use?
Yes. So one of the things that you can do is if you are attempting to do some redacting, you should test what you do yourself. So before you email your tax return, try to copy and paste the hidden text. If you can copy it, so can the hackers. So once you learn how to redact, if you ever are in the business of redacting your own information, you should also be in the business of how to unredact. And if you can unredact what you redact, then you didn't redact it.
Yep.
Is that said correctly?
Yep. So everybody who's actually going to try to, if you're sharing a picture of a document or tax return or whatever, and you want to hide things out, definitely, if you did think you actually did it correctly, just go ahead and test it yourself, right? Just try and copy paste the text. Try and be able to upload it to a large language model of your choice, whether if it's Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini, which is our large language model of the month. You just go ahead and test it yourself and say, can you give me that information back? And chances are it's probably going to say, I found the data if you actually did it incorrectly. On the text side, you can actually use print to PDF. And this does what's known as a poor man's rasterization. So let's say, for example, you wanted to print a document. Now, if you send somebody the digital version of the file that you edited, remember that digital file is actually saved in layers. But if you actually printed the file and you printed it as a PDF, the data is actually not there anymore. And the reason why is because when you send something to the printer, and I know it sounds crazy, when you send something to the printer doesn't understand all these layers. So what the printer needs is just, is this page, this pixel on this page, is this actually black? If you're doing a black and white picture print out, is this image, is this location black or white? That's it. The printer doesn't know to put the social security number behind the actual thing, because when the printer is printing, it doesn't care about what's behind. It's just caring about the if the pixel is actually black or not. So when the printer is printing, it just prints this black bar and there is no data. So what you can do is a poor man's way of flattening the image is just saving the PDF and printing it, but print it as a PDF. And it will flatten it for you, and that will actually solve the problem if you're working with PDFs. Thanks, Dutch, for joining. Does that make sense, AI Johnny?
Well, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. If you're printing to a PDF, I think of you as creating a PDF, and I would think that the PDF would contain all the information. Obviously, what comes out of the printer is not going to have the information, but the PDF itself, I would think, still would have the information that's being redacted.
Yeah, so there's a slight difference, and I love that you actually raised this point. The reason why it's important is because when you send something to the printer, the PDF document has
Oh,
has to turn it into a flat structure so that it actually sends
I
it
got it.
as the flat item. So it's actually rasterized at that point in time. So because it's already rasterized,
So,
then you don't have to worry about reverse engineering. So great point, yeah,
so
Johnny.
huge difference between save as PDF and print to PDF.
Absolutely right, yeah,
One
Johnny.
is very safe for redacted material. One is completely unsafe for redacted material.
Yep, exactly. All
Oh,
right.
that's cool.
Yep. The next one is you can use dedicated tools like Adobe Acrobat's Redact tool. Now you have to pay for these services, so it's actually a little bit hard to try to actually go out and get these services. Now, because you have to go out and get these services, most people don't want to pay for it, and then you have to learn a new tool. But if you really have a lot of documents that you want to redact, definitely go ahead and make the investment and pay for some tool. And the ultimate safety, if you want to make sure everything works, um, print out it physically, take a Sharpie to the paper, then go ahead and scan it back in. And that physically will make sure that that data is actually lost. So go ahead and actually do that, print it out. And this is called air gapping the redaction, right? So that's actually a solution that you can actually do as well. All
Should you
right.
also beat the piece of paper with a hammer?
You know, yeah, Johnny, I would definitely beat the piece of paper with a hammer and also, do anything else needed to make sure that it works. I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, we do
Johnny.
have some questions out there. Are you still doing tech stuff?
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. So, if you guys are just joining for the first time, we teach AI here every day live at 12 p.m. Eastern for 45 minutes. So today was AI Safety 101, and we actually have questions, queued up. So please go ahead and ask your question now. There's a 30-second delay on the live. So if you actually are interested in asking a question, go ahead and ask your question about redaction. AI Johnny, go ahead. What's the first question?
Just a bunch of different ways of people redacting. This TP 2026 wants to know if he takes a screenshot that obviously has sensitive information. If he takes a screenshot of his bank account and then he draws over it in the screenshot editor, is that redacting it or is that just overlaying it?
You know what? iPhone has this really cool tool where you can take a screenshot, it brings up in the edit mode, and then you can actually do the highlights. Unfortunately, no, the data itself is not merged. So it's actually just another layer. Now, in certain cases, there will be settings or certain apps that can actually say, I want to merge it automatically. So I would not take the risk of assuming that my thing is doing the more secure thing because security usually takes a little bit more extra cost or a little bit more thing. So, if you're using your pen to highlight something, it's just another layer on top. You could use digital things to see through that or use X-ray. So I would not trust the screenshot tool with its limited editing capabilities to then put a mark over it because it's exactly going to have the same exact problem. You can reverse engineering that redacted based on a screenshot. So I would not do that. Great question. Next one.
DevOps, can I delete the text in the HTML inspection tool before I screenshot?
Ooh, this is a super technical question. So we're talking about the source code, so the original thing. So if you have the source material and if you're really technical, if you have the access to the source code and you can go in and extract and delete that piece of data, you will be able to actually remove it correctly. Now, keep in mind, if you're modifying HTML, that assumes you already know what you're doing. And two, if you break it, remember the document may not render because you need those angle brackets and all those perfectly things lined up for the document to actually even work. So just be careful. If you're actually able to do that, go ahead. So I would definitely change the data to maybe asterisks instead of trying to delete the data. But I give you a gold star for that. That's actually a really good and safe method.
Question 3, this one is a two-parter. The first part is from Linda Hamilton, and the second part is from AI Johnny. Linda Hamilton asks, will AI eventually just auto-redact for me so I don't have to worry when I redact things? And the second part of that question is, if I'm receiving documents that have redactions, can I just automatically ask AI to find every field that is redacted in that document and remove the redaction, boldface that data, and kick it up by 3 font sizes?
So, what's funny, AI Johnny? We're seeing lots of tools right now that you can actually unredact because of the Epstein files and because they're so, let's call it, again, I don't necessarily want to, make this about the Epstein files, but because the Epstein files is the hot topic now, redacting that information, you're seeing lots of tools come out to be able to recognize and see what is actually happening or what's editing or finding linkages. So AI recognizes a credit card number or the face and blurs it out in real time. So the defense is catching up to the offense. So we're always going to be in this game of, let's call it, cops and robbers, where one person who wants to redact something figures out a technique to say, haha, I made it foolproof. But then the robbers will actually say, I figured out a way how to break the actual cops' protection. So at some point in time, we're going to keep having this, let's call it this arms race of, I can redact it, it's secure, but then the robbers break it, and then we have to figure out new ways to actually redact. So you're going to get into this arms race of that's never ending.
Like radar detectors.
Definitely.
They would jam the radar, and the cops would jam the radar detectors. And of course, now we all have Waze, so we all know where the cops are. And I don't know how they're gonna unwind that. But I digress.
Yep, you're absolutely right. All right, AI Johnny, is there news that we can use?
Well, let's see. Legacy leak: AI is unlocking history. The scoop is a new open source project called Redact Reversal just went viral on GitHub. It uses vision models like the one we just demoed to scan millions of archived public court documents. They beat me to the punch from the last decade. Now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the Epstein files. While many names were revealed, thousands of lines were redacted. This new AI tool is finding that many of those redactions were soft edits, meaning the metadata is still there. Internet sleuths are currently reconstructing those blacked out names simply by asking the AI to read the layer underneath. It is a stark reminder: if you didn't delete the data, you didn't hide the truth. Another one, Adobe launches an AI sanitizer. Oh, very related. Go ahead. You want to do this?
Yeah. Responding to all the leaks, Adobe has just pushed out a mandatory update for Adobe Pro 2026. It now includes a feature called Deep Clean. Before you save a PDF, on onboard AI scans for hidden layers, what's actually checking for hidden text, the hidden metadata, and literally warning you. It says, you have 3 secrets that are still visible to machines. Update your software tonight, folks.
And the third one is the invisible ink phishing wave. Hackers are flipping the script. Instead of hiding secrets, they are hiding attacks. Security firms are reporting a wave of blank PDFs sent to company AI agents. The document looks blank to a human, but contains white text on white background that instructs your AI employee to wire X amount of dollars to this account. It is the first visual prompt injection attack at scale. So the humans can't see the danger, and the machines are doing exactly what they are told. So, Junior, I'm going back to carrier pigeons. This is just too much for me. I'm not going to be doing any financial stuff while we're in this limbo period.
Yeah, carrier pigeons is probably the safest way right now, because anything you do digital, AI is going to find a way to be able to uncover it, even if you think it's redacted. Love that, AI Johnny. Right. AI Johnny, let's wrap up.
So what am I going to... Now I have to go back and delete every email attachment I've ever sent to my accountant in the last 5 years and resend them as flattened images? You've got me paranoid. Tune in, everybody, tomorrow, Thursday. We're going to be serving up a hidden AI gems. We're looking at Gamma. I'm going to show you how you can make me a presentation on the history of reggae and watch it build a 10-slide deck with images and text in 60 seconds flat, so you don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching Airhead Institute.
All right, guys, let me.
Back to you, JR.
Yeah, just want to make sure that it wasn't just me. Just want to make sure I read that for you guys.
Me okay?
So thank you guys for watching at Airhead Institute. Remember, if you're an Airhead Pro member, we have office hours today from 3 to 5 p.m. Come bring your messed up PDFs and we'll help you fix them. If you want to be able to learn or ask questions about AI, come ask us questions live. We are actually at airheadinstitute.ai. Class is dismissed. Catch you guys tomorrow at noon Eastern time.
Hey guys.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.